The story begins in Denmark during the Viking Age. On top of a mountain, a giant was happily playing with his little child, a small troll. Suddenly, a Danish chieftain arrived with his men on horseback, planning to kill the giant. But before they could reach him, the giant saw them from afar. To protect his child, he quickly picked him up and ran towards the other side of the mountain. But the chieftain and his men surrounded him. The giant hid his child on the mountainside and then tried to scare the men instead of fighting them, hoping they would return. But the men wouldn't leave. They attacked him with arrows, spears, and flaming torches. The giant lost his balance and fell from the mountain, dying instantly. Then the chieftain walked to the edge of the mountain and took off his mask. When he looked down, he saw the small troll. For a moment, he thought about killing the child as well. But since he was just a child, he decided to let him live. Without telling his men, he turned around and galloped away. Then the small troll came down the mountain. Near the sea, he found his father's lifeless body. He tried to drag the body away from the ravens and eagles, but it was too heavy for him. Finally, he used a sword to cut the body into pieces and carried them to a cave. Many years passed and the troll grew old. But every day, when he looked at his father's severed head, he cried with grief and remembered him. On the other side, the troll, who had been waiting all these years to avenge his father, finally came out of his cave. That evening, while some Viking warriors were celebrating inside the tavern, the troll arrived. He attacked the guard outside, smashed his head, and then entered the tavern. Inside, he brutally slaughtered all the Vikings. The next morning, the chieftain came to the tavern. The sight shocked him. The bodies of the Viking warriors who had stayed there overnight were scattered everywhere. They had all been killed in a brutal manner. The chief asked his leader, "Where were you when this happened?" The chief replied, "I was in the village. Some young men stayed here after drinking, but I don't know who killed them so brutally." Strangely, no women or elderly were harmed. Hearing this, the chief became concerned. The scene then shifts to the Viking Geitland and their leader, Leo, a famous Viking warrior. As usual, they set out on their ships to raid and plunder. But during their journey, a cold snap forced them to stop near Denmark. That night, the Danish chief approaches the mountain with his guard and calls out a challenge to the troll. But as he takes a few steps, the troll suddenly appears from behind and strikes the guard on the head, killing him instantly. From a distance, the chief sees this and attacks him with his sword. But before he can reach him, the troll flees. The chief then fails to understand why he doesn't confront the troll directly, but rather kills his guards before fleeing each time. The next morning, the entire tribe gathers at the scene of the massacre. The chief's wife tells him, "Many of our Vikings have been killed. What will happen to their widows now? If this continues, only widows will remain in the village." The chief has neither an answer nor a solution. Ashamed, he kept silent. Meanwhile, the Vikings of Geitland, led by Leo, advanced in their ship and landed near the settlement inhabited by the Dane tribe. When a Danish knight soldier saw them, he warned them, "This land also belongs to the Vikings. If you come here to raid, leave immediately." "I am Leo, a famous Viking warrior," Leo replied. "During our journey, we only wished to rest here for a few days. We had no plans to raid." The soldier said, "We've heard a lot about you. Come, I'll take you to meet our chief, Leo," and his men meet the chief. The chief was pleased to see him and said, "Last time I met your father, you were still a child. Now you've grown into a great warrior." Leo nodded in agreement. That night, the chief arranged a feast at the tavern for Leo and his men. The chief's wife served the drinks herself. During the feast, Leo asked, "Why are there so many widows here and so few men?" The chief told him about the nightly troll attacks. Leo heard this and said, "If a troll comes every night to kill the Vikings, then from now on I and my men will wait for him." After the party, the chief, his wife, and the others returned home. But Leo and his warriors, along with a few tribesmen, stayed behind at the tavern. At midnight, the ogre comes out of the tavern. First, he sniffs a priest, then he heads to the door, sniffing to check if the Vikings inside are locals or strangers. Inside, Leo and his warriors realize that the ogre has arrived and quickly prepare for battle. But the ogre senses that the warriors inside are not the local Vikings. Instead of entering, he urinates on the closed door. When the Vikings inside rush in to attack, the ogre has already disappeared into the night. The next morning, the chieftain says to Leo, "It is strange that no men were killed last night." Leo replies, "Yes, the ogre did come to the door, but instead of fighting, he urinated and went away." Afterward, Leo sets off with some of his men and some tribesmen to search for the ogre in the hills, hoping to kill it. But after searching in many places, they fail to find it, so they return to the village. A little while later, Leo goes alone to meet Alina, who lives outside the village near a mountain. He tells her, "I heard that you can see death before it comes." Alina replies, "Yes, and I also heard that you are the famous Viking warrior Leo. But why did you come here?" Leo said, "I want to know how many will be killed in this battle between the trolls and the Vikings, and whether the trolls will die or not. It's important to know because I want to protect your people." Alina said, "I'm not one of those people. When I was a child, the chieftain's nephew brought me here and forced me into a life of shame. As for your question, yes, I have seen the future. The troll would be killed, but many Vikings would die too, and the land would be stained with blood. In truth, the people here deserved no better." Then Leo asked, "Why do you say that?" Alina replied, "Because of what they did to the troll. This is their punishment. You must stay away from this matter." Before Leo could ask further, his men arrived looking for him. They said that evening was approaching. "We must be ready." So Leo returned with them to the tribe. Later, Leo spoke to the chieftain alone and asked, "Did the troll kill a woman, a child, or an old person?" The chieftain replied, "No, he only kills Viking men." Leo said, "That means he is intelligent and rather disciplined." The chieftain looked surprised and said, "He kills our people, and yet you praise him?" Leo replied, "I don't praise him. I just think there must be a reason why he only kills men. So far, he hasn't attacked us or the other people of your village directly." Then the chieftain said, 20 years ago, a troll was killed. Since then, no one has been seen. I don't know where this came from. If you are afraid of trolls, don't fight." That evening, Leo and his warriors waited again inside the tavern for the troll. When they heard the sound of its arrival, they rushed outside with swords ready. But again, the troll was nowhere to be seen. Disappointed, they returned to the tavern. Just then, the troll quietly slipped out from behind the rocks and returned to its hiding place. The next day, Leo again went to see Lena and asked her, "Tell me, how can a troll be killed?" Lena replied, "Why don't you go home with your men?" Leo replied, "Before I leave, I must find out how the people can be freed from this troll." Lena then took him to her hut and threw down her divination bones to try to find an answer. Just then, Leo heard the troll's voice outside. He rushed outside, but the troll, seeing him, ran away. Leo jumped on his horse and chased after it. Before he could reach it, the troll climbs the mountain. Lena also follows it and reaches there. Leo calls out to the troll, "If you have courage, come and face me. Why do you keep running away?" The troll answers in its own language. Lena understands and tells Leo, "The troll says his battle is not with you. You and your men haven't harmed him, and that's why he never attacked you." Hearing this, Leo is surprised and returns with Lena to her hut. There he asks, "So why does he keep wandering here?" Lena explains, "The chieftain's nephew once forced me into a sinful life, but he died in my bed. People blame me for his death and have expelled me from the tribe. Since then, I've lived here alone. Many Viking men used to come every night to insult me, but ever since the troll started appearing, none of them dared to come. That's why I won't help you kill him. The poor troll has already suffered too much." After Leo learned of this, he returned to the chieftain and said, "Through Lena, I spoke with the troll. He told her that the Vikings treated him very cruelly. That's why he's taking revenge." The chief looked nervous and said, "I'll talk to you about this later." As Leo was leaving back to his men, he saw a disabled man being severely beaten by some children. Leo sent the children away. The man then said to him, "My father fought against the troll's father. That's why the troll killed all the men in my family. I know where the troll lives. You and your warriors can go there and kill him." Hearing this, Leo and his warriors set off by boat towards the mountain where the troll cave was located. Guided by the crippled man, they landed near the shore and climbed the mountain until they found the only entrance to the cave. One of the Vikings tried to get down, but his foot slipped. The others quickly pulled him back up. After that, none of them had the courage to go inside. Instead, they urinated near the cave entrance and started to head back to their boat. But suddenly, from underwater, a hidden troll pounced on the Viking who had urinated near his cave, trying to kill him. But his companions quickly struck, forcing the troll to retreat underwater. The Viking's life was saved. After that, the group returned to the tavern and waited for the troll overnight. But this time, the troll didn't dare to go inside. The next morning, Leo came out and saw that the troll had killed the crippled soldier who had guided them to the cave. Leo and the Vikings were shocked and decided to return to the troll cave. But this time, they used the cloak to reach the entrance cave. When they entered, they found strange things scattered everywhere. A Viking had broken the troll's father's skull and urinated on it. The troll wasn't there at the time, but when he returned and found the broken skull, he immediately understood who had entered his cave. Seeing the insult to his father, the troll became furious. That evening, while the Vikings were sleeping inside the tavern, the troll brutally attacked them. He killed the person who had broken his father's skull. Seeing this, Leo also started fighting the troll, but Leo was too weak compared to the troll. The troll tried to escape from the roof, but Leo grabbed his leg and pulled him down, wrapping a heavy iron chain around his arm. Enraged, the troll punched Leo and struggled to free himself, but his hand got caught in the chain. A Viking shot an arrow at him, but the troll knocked him away. Before the others could attack, the troll cut off his hand to escape. He ran towards the sea but didn't get far. He collapsed and died on the shore. Suddenly, his body was dragged far into the sea by an invisible force. The next day, the Vikings mourned their fallen comrades and burned their bodies. Leo turned to the chieftain and said, "You only told me half the truth. Now that the troll is dead, at least tell me everything." The chieftain admitted that they had once killed the troll's father for no reason, and now they were all paying the price. Leo replied, "Because of your thinking, an innocent was killed, but that troll was not like you. He never hurt innocents." Hearing this, the chieftain was ashamed. That night, the Vikings hung the troll's severed hand in the tavern and celebrated, believing that the troll was finally dead. Afterward, most of them returned home. Leo went to see Lena. She told him, "As you said, the troll is gone, but you still have more wounds to suffer." Then she revealed her past. Years ago, the troll came to her. He had been with her once, but after that, he never touched her again. Strangely, the Vikings stopped bothering her. She also said, "Leo, he wasn't evil. He carried nothing but the pain of his childhood." As they talked, Lena and Leo grew closer and ended up in each other's arms. In the middle of the night, the troll's mother stormed into the village. On her way, she killed a priest. Then she entered the tavern and slaughtered all the Vikings inside. She took her son's severed hand with her. The next morning, a young boy secretly approached Lena. She told him to stay calm, then quietly left with him. Meanwhile, the Vikings believed the troll was still alive and responsible for the new killings. They went hunting for it. On the seashore, they found the severed head of another comrade. Leo's suspicions grew. Perhaps the troll was still alive. He rushed to the cave alone, diving into the water. Inside, he found the troll's body lying on a rock. But as he approached, the troll's mother suddenly attacked him from behind. She strangled him, but Leo grabbed a stone and smashed it against her head. Then he seized a sword and killed her. At that moment, the little boy arrived with a sword in his hand. Leo saw him and realized the truth. This boy was none other than Lena and the troll's son. Leo lowered his weapon and didn't harm him. Later, Leo returned to the tribe and told the chief, "I'm leaving. The troll and his mother are really dead now." Before he left, he met Lena again and warned her, "If people find out the troll had a son, they will kill you both." Lena calmly replied, "This secret will remain just between us." She said this, then walked away. In the end, Leo built graves for the troll and his mother outside Lena's hut. But from a distance, the troll's son watched everything with tears. Then Leo left with his men back to Geatland. And that's where the movie ended.